want justice, you say how?
We want justice, you say how?
Israel out of Palestine now.
Israel out of Palestine now.
We want justice, you say how?
We want justice, you say how?
Israel out of Palestine now.
Israel out of Palestine now.
Not another nickel, not another dime.
Not another nickel, not another dime.
No more money for genocide.
Greetings, everyone. This is Hong Long from Hong Long Wuxia. And that is from a demonstration that took place on Monday, April 22nd, when over 50 students and workers gathered in 100-degree heat in the free speech zone at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas to show their solidarity with the students at Columbia who were arrested and summarily suspended and evicted from their housing on campus last week, for which, incidentally, although not to the students, they had already paid. Later on Monday, a mere few hours after this demonstration took place, peacefully protesting students at New York University were also viciously attacked by police. And in the interim, there have been police actions also at Cal Poly Humboldt, Berkeley, Yale, Harvard, and other schools throughout the United States, with administrators, police, and media and government officials all saying that it is being done to protect Jewish students from the anti-Semitism of the protesters, with ominous calls being made to mobilize the National Guard to deal with protesters in an allusion to the Kent State Massacre, which occurred almost 50 years ago to the day. Shortly before the violent repression began, University of Southern California administrators said that they would not allow their valedictorian to speak at commencement because they were fearful for students' safety. Although no school in the United States has made the same claims when allowing fascists and warmongers to speak regularly at their schools. All of this is hogwash. The labeling of anti-genocide protesters as anti-Semitic is an Orwellian lie of monstrous proportions, and one should make note of those who are making those claims. The current president is one of them, and he now goes by the moniker Genocide Joe. Another is the current frontrunner for the presidential elections in the United States, the fascistic Trump, who attempted to instigate an insurrection and is currently still walking around free, although right now he is currently being tried for a nonsensical sex scandal, which has nothing to do with his actual crimes. And this is because the Democrats make common cause with these fascists on a daily basis. Not just here, but also abroad, and for decades. The Democrats, and I include the pseudo-left con men in the Democratic Socialists of America, as well as the corporate shill Bernie Sanders in that category, they all just got together with their fascistic counterparts in the Republican Party to approve an almost $100 billion package for war, one of which has already cost the lives of over 500,000 people. 500,000 people. And whose casualties number in the millions. They are funding the side that has its roots. In the celebrated, in the politics of the celebrated and renowned fascist, anti-Semite, and Nazi sympathizer Stepan Bandera. Another tranche of the billions to be handed out for killing is for the current genocide being unleashed by Israel on the Palestinians in their overt ethnic cleansing operation in Gaza. As the bill was passed, it was being announced that a mass grave had just been unearthed at a Palestinian hospital, which to date has uncovered 310 murdered victims, many of them handcuffed or tied up, all of them patients or staff at the hospitals, and all of them killed with weapons and intelligence provided by the United States of America. A war crime of monumental proportions. Those calling anti-genocide protesters anti-Semitic are the same people who stood up to give a standing ovation to a former member of a Waffen-SS member in the Canadian Parliament just days a mere days before the launch of Israel's ethnic cleansing operation. In the case of Donald Trump, he once said of the anti-Semites that were running amok in Charlottesville, chanting blood and soil, that they were good people. As for the Republicans in Congress, most of them buy into the overtly racist and anti-Semitic Great Replacement theory. And the Democrats, for their part, haven't stopped trying to divide workers along racial, ethnic, religious, national, gender, or any other identity line that they can think of for over a generation now. To say that anti-Zionists are anti-Semitic is itself an anti-Semitic statement. Zionism is not Judaism, but rather a racist, nationalist, fascistic political ideology of extremely right-wing Jewish people. To label all Jews as Zionists is akin to labeling all Catholics as Nazis, or for that matter, all white Protestant Americans as members of the Ku Klux Klan, which, of course, some pseudo-left charlatans attempt to do with their incessant, moronic calls of white privilege, usually emanating from mouths of people who regularly wear $1,000 suits or those who are angling to wear those $1,000 suits. Actually, given inflation, those suits are probably $10,000 a pop now. Genocide Joe, the fascist Trump, and all those vile people who attempt to disparage student protesters, indeed all genocide protesters, do so because they themselves are guilty. They are complicit in this genocide. Their hands are drenched in the blood of tens of thousands of innocent men and women and children. Not only are these horrors being funded by them, but you can bet your ass, many of these atrocities are being directed by them as well. In any case, the fact that they attempt to cover themselves by slandering those standing up in defiance and protest means they deserve nothing but every worker's contempt. They should begin to elicit a gag reflex when hearing their voices. Their perspective and their lies are that filthy. At the very least, it should open up everyone's eyes to the fact that they cannot be trusted with anything. Those willing to lie, to cover for, and expand an ongoing genocide, which is being broadcast in front of the eyes of billions of people across the globe. These are people who are capable of any crime. Support the student protesters, and for a general strike to stop the genocide and the expansion of World War III.